Hello. Welcome to Yakking It Up with Phoenix and Monarch.
Yes. Our channel is basically about talking about all the hot topics that people are yakking about in the streets. And we're taking it to that standpoint, dissecting it and bringing it to what a real person's struggle goes through.
Okay, so what our topic is going to be about today is just focus on the new show, The Cartel. And the part of it that I want to focus on, or that we're going to yak about today, is redemption after, redemption. Redemption.
Which is a really good topic because a lot of the cartel situation where you got this big time drug dealer that is in the community selling all this drugs, but also putting them back in the community. They actually become almost slick little what's his name, Robin Hood,
Right.
and
Stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
Right. And finally, their day comes where they have to answer to all the things that they have been doing in the streets, and they go to prison and they serve their time. But nobody really talks about what life looks like after everything is said and done.
Right. And I think to me, we don't come from a society that is about really, truly second chances. Sending people to jail is not about rehabilitating those individuals. You know, the whole you do the crime, you pay the time, then you get out, and then nothing. It's no longer held against you because you did your time for the crime. Um, and so that's kind of what the first episode of Cartel, the son was talking about how his mother was a big time queen pin, and because of his mother being a queen pin, there are certain things that he did with his mother. But his mother has since passed on. He went to jail, and now he's gotten out, and he's starting or has started a clothing line. And so he goes to this radio show interview, and all the person kept talking about is everything that his mother had did, everything that his family had done, everything that all the crime portion of stuff that was from his past, but not really focusing on this person trying to turn a new leaf, trying to do things the legal way, trying to provide for his family on the level that he's accustomed to, but doing it legally, and not really, to me, getting a really fair chance to do that.
I mean, honestly speaking, there's no fair chances once you get put in the system, and not for the average black person. Um, when you get locked up and put away for selling drugs, you're labeled basically as deemed as the worst person that can be in the society for some reason. And they look at you like they need to keep their foot on your neck so you don't ever be able to live a regular life ever again. Um, which makes it even harder for the person who maybe have been that way in the past, but once they got in trouble, they feel like, you know what, I want to turn a new leaf. I want to be a better person. I don't want to have to go down that road ever again. Yeah, it was good for that moment, but look what all I lost.
Right, and what I lost isn't worth what I gained or what I thought I gained.
Right.
You know.
Because, I mean, honestly speaking, when you're in that life, you things look differently. It looks differently, and you feel like there's way more people in your corner, which is not. You think you have a tight knit family, which you don't. And when you finally do get locked up and you get put away, those people disappear. And when you come home, there's some people that will be rooting for you, but the life that you have to come home to is completely different. And I'm just speaking about this on my own because I was in this lifestyle before in my past, and when I got out of jail, and I didn't even get to prison because it was my first time ever getting locked up. So the judge, my public defender was just like, we need to wait on your real judge because my real judge was sick and they had a stand-in judge. And she was like, if we wait on her, then she'll probably give you probation. I couldn't wait. I had to get out because my mom, she was really sick. and she was in a sugar coma, and I wanted to be there for her just in case something happened. So I was just like, no, we got to take our chances with this judge. And when it was presented, like, oh, you waited till you was 25 to get in trouble, so you're going to have to take this because you're not a young child or somebody who doesn't know any better.
You know better.
You knew better. So you're going to take this conviction. And so I was convicted felon. I am a convicted felon. And what that looked like coming out of jail is, first of all, no jobs want to hire you. You can't find a place to stay because you're a convicted felon. So what that does is it puts a strain on the people who love you, that wants you to get out and be better, to get your life back on track. It puts a strain on that relationship because now it's harder for you to get a job or a place to stay. So you have to lean on them, and they don't have the resources to help you for real. So after a while, they're looking at you like, I got to cut the strings with you, because if not, I'm going to start suffering more than I need to suffer because I can't afford to take care of you too. So what that put me in a space is I actually was homeless. Like, I lived in a shelter for 2 weeks. Did not know how I was going to survive. And for the average person, they're going through this, and they
don't have nobody to lean on. Like, they don't have even those few family members to come out to lean on. Immediately when they come out of jail, people are expecting, especially a man. Mm-hmm. People are expecting financial things out of a man. A man doesn't even get a break or any. He doesn't get cut any slack just because he has a jail record. You have to figure out a way to go get some money. I don't give a damn what you do or how you do it. You need to get out here and figure out some way to get some money.
Not only do you gotta find a way to get money for your own living expenses, but you also have to find a way to get money for your family, because 9 times out of 10 you got kids, right? You got a girlfriend,
you got a girl.
And then on top of that, you gotta pay back to parole or probation and all these things. And if you don't pay that restitution, you're going back to prison. So what you do now? What's the next move?
You can't.
When you got all these things on your shoulders, what's the next move?
Right.
The next
eventually
move is,
you have to go back to what you know, simply to try to keep your head above water, to feed yourself, to have clothes, to keep your girl, to feel like a man, to take care of your kids. Just keep it real. To just have a roof over your head and food in your stomach.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
You're not only worried, and see, the thing about for me was, I had to just worry about me. There was nobody else that I had to worry about. So my situation was a little bit differently. I could move differently than what a man would have to go through coming home to a family that he was providing for when he went to prison.
Right. When he get out, they expect him to provide on
again,
that level.
Yeah, again.
Right. Like, or at least something.
Because you've been gone all these years, and we've been struggling all these years. So now that you home.
Now our Savior is home. Yeah, Go save
us, So, like, they have to move completely different than what, what I had to move on. I had to just worry about me because I didn't have no kids. My guy was locked up in prison, right? So he had to stay in prison for 3 years. I just did 30 days of jail time, but I ended up still with a convicted felon charges to my record. So I still had to deal with those same scrutinies that the world puts on a convicted felon, like you're just the worst person in the world. And I have education, and I've worked jobs that were not even on the level of minimum wage. So now I can't even go get those type jobs anymore, because the first thing they see is that conviction. And that conviction has nothing to do. Let me just say this. This is what pisses me the hell off. Okay? These convictions have nothing to do with the type of work that you guys are providing. Nothing. Now, if you get convicted over a drug charge, what does that have to do anything with answering phone calls? What does that have anything to do with going to a warehouse and manufacturing products? That has nothing to do with their past. Like, you're not allowing a person to come out of their situation and to gain control of where their life at right then and there, to start over and start fresh. The way that I came out of my situation, I still thank God for her in my life every single day. I ran upon a young lady named Monique. She's one of my great friends. She's like a sister to me. And she used to just be my hairstylist. And I got to my lowest of low points where I felt like I was going to go out there and act like I was about to go trick my body off, which I wasn't. and I was going to
But
steal.
the thought crossed your mind of what can I do to get money without doing the same thing that just got me sent to jail.
Actually, I wasn't even on that. This is what my mindset was at. When I was selling drugs, I had girls that was working for me that bought drugs, but they also worked for me. In my mindset, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to act like I'm about to trick myself. Steal money from this person.
Limitation there
it's not a statute of limitation. I already done did my time. I done did my crime. I didn't do anything. I did.
Don't be admitting to no new shit on cameras.
Here's the situation. I done did my time. I done got convicted for everything I need to be convicted for. What I'm saying is, in my mind, this is what I was going to do. I was going to rob a guy, take his money, go find some girls, get some more drugs,
right?
Put them on and get my money back up.
Right. So basically, what you're saying is because of the situation, you made a mistake. You did commit a crime. You did the time for the crime. You get out. And you're trying to figure out a way of how do I make my life better? How do I survive? How do I feed myself? How do I clothe myself? How do I house myself when nobody's willing to hire me? Nobody's willing to give me an opportunity, even though I have education, I have all this other work experience that I can lean on. All of that is pushed to the side, wiped away, not even considered or looked at, simply because you made one mistake according to your record, which is the one thing that you went to jail for. One time. So because of that, your back being against the wall, and just started thinking of the simplest, which seems like really, and this is the thing. When you are not from the hood, a lot of that shit sound real extreme. But right, it sounds like, oh, you just went to the most extremist thing you could ever do, but in reality is, those are typical things people are having to do to simply get by. Those are the things that you think about. What is around me that I can use to benefit from to be able to survive? And those were the things immediately around you.
Immediately around me that I seen constantly on a day-to-day basis. And in that moment, I didn't want to go to that. So what I did was I called my friend up, and she really wasn't my friend. She was just my hairstylist at that time. But her vibe from when I was getting my hair done from her, she always had something positive to say. She would always say, well, I'm going to pray for you and all this stuff like this. So in my mind, I felt like everything felt, I'm not going to say in my mind, and I know I don't really talk about spiritually, but spiritually everything fell to this moment because I was crying, didn't know how I was going to feed myself. I hadn't ate in 2 days. And I was going through my wallet, and her card fell out of my wallet, and I called her crying, saying, I just need for you to pray for me because I am about to go do something crazy because I don't know what else to do. And she said, come to me, come up to the shop, come to me. And this lady took me in for 4 years straight. That's the only way that I was able to survive. And not only did she took me in 4 years straight and did not charge me not one single penny, but she also gave me a new grind. She also gave me a new mindset of, okay, well, you might not can go to these jobs that you normally can go to, but how about you go get your cosmetology license? How about you go get a trade where you can be your own boss,
right?
Where there isn't any limitations of, because you're a convicted felon, it's all about your talent,
right?
And being in that environment with her really changed my mindset because I was able to apply those same street wisdom that I had with drugs, and I was able to apply it to how I ran my business, right, and how I looked at, okay, my profit margin and what I needed to do to invest into this to get that, and it just went hand in hand. And from that point, I was able to find my voice to be able to say, okay, well, if I can do this, then I can do something else, right? And then I gained more confidence in saying, okay, well, I work XYZ, so now they're not looking so much at that record, they're looking at all the things that I have done after the fact. So, yeah. But guys don't have it that easy. I'm being real. You gotta have somebody strong to be able to do that.
And I think what I've learned just from hearing you is that, yes, we do live in a society that really doesn't give everybody a true second chance. However, if you're able to put pride to the side and sometimes reach out for help, and sometimes that help may come from places that you don't think that help is coming from, right? And then also change your mindset and have the thought or the wherewithal to say, hey, I can't get it the way that I'm used to getting it, legally or illegally, but there's a way, and so let me just figure out, let me change my mindset and look at the things from a different angle.
But it's also, and this is till this day is still like my motto. Like, you have to surround yourself around certain people. If you continue to surround yourself around people who's used to your old you that was getting it that way, and they're continuing to getting it that way, they're going to coach you to come back to get it that way. If you surround yourself with people that is like-minded to where you're trying to go, then you're going to start viewing life completely different.
Okay.
So me being around Nikki, seeing how her money was coming in almost damn near the same way my money would came in if I was selling drugs.
Right.
But she's doing it in a legal way, and she's doing it in a positive way where she's not only doing it to help herself, but she's helping other people.
Right.
So I surround myself with more people like her,
right,
which made my mindset be different, so much different to the point that my old people, including my dude, didn't want to be with me anymore because they said I changed too much. But that's what it takes if you're going to get yourself out of that lifestyle and put yourself in a better lifestyle. I feel like I had an opportunity when she was put in my life. Right. Had I not had her in my life, I don't know exactly where I would have been at. I probably would have been back in jail. I probably would have been in and out of jail because I'm trying to find a way to survive because society was not allowing me to survive. But this person allowed me to come into their space and basically took care of me until I found my way.
Right.
And so everybody don't get that. And these guys come home and we're putting all this stress on them. All this stress, and I can only say because I know the stress that I've been through. So they come home with all the stress, and I just had a little small fraction because it was just me to worry about. But they got the whole family to worry about. The world is on their back, and nobody is really taking into account that the society that you come home to, regardless if you was in prison, getting the whole education, because some prison give you education and you get a whole trade come up about that thing. Regardless of all that paperwork that you don't work hard, you don't train your mind to, don't train your body to do. You can't do those things because they're not allowing you to do it.
Because of
that conviction.
The very thing that get right.
Because of that conviction.
That allowed you to get the knowledge when you was in jail. But you have some people that say, hey, I've went to jail. And like I know there's a young lady that did some jail time. I think she maybe did 10 years or 5 years. She did quite a bit of time. She came out and now she's like into politics and was even voted into a political position. And one of the things that she said was, well, hey, when you get out here, you gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, you do. But sometimes I'm not giving it by any means a real excuse, y'all. But what I'm saying to you is that even with you're going hard every single day, because when I came out of jail, I went hard every day because I had nothing. When they raided my house, they left my door open, so all the neighborhood crackheads came in and took everything I had. I lost my apartment because I was in jail for 28 days. Coming home, you don't have any money for rent. So that's gone. All your clothes gone. Your roof is gone. You don't have no money to your name to even eat. And you're going hard as you possibly can just to grab something. I went from working at jobs that I was making $14, $15 to saying I just will take anything minimum wage.
Right.
I'll take minimum wage. I try to go to the Dollar.
I just need a job.
I tried to go to the Dollar Tree, baby, just to get a job, and they told me no because of my conviction, because I'm a convicted felon. There's a no go. Tell me, what does that got anything to do with your job place? Nothing. But immediately you deem me as a bad person, and you won't allow me to redeem myself to saying that, hey, I'm trying to get it the right way,
right,
and I need to survive, regardless of what you see it as my past for. Give me a chance to show you that I've changed, or give me a chance to show you the real me. Because some of these people that's out here selling drugs, they're not bad people. We're not bad people at all. We
just the only way they know how to survive.
Not just that, but we got into a tough situation, and when we got into that tough situation, we looked at our surroundings and we said, you know what, I can make some money. And even in that making money, how many drug dealers do you know that actually take care of their community?
Not many.
It's a lot though. The big time drug dealers, they take care of their community. They come back and they do for
I think
Christmas, they do for Thanksgiving. They give money.
Not in my neighborhood.
Well,
I didn't see that.
It may be not in your neighborhood, but if we look at the big drug dealers that's like been locked away.
I see them in movies, but not in real life.
Well, not in real life, but what I can say is this: I wasn't a bad person, and even when me and my ex was selling drugs, we took care of people that was in our surroundings. We cooked for the whole entire neighborhood. We gave money to homeless people. We helped out people who didn't have anything. We actually would take them to the store and buy clothes for them. It was not that we just took it and was so greedy and just wanted to do and live this lavish life. No, everybody isn't bad. Some people like have to feed their kids, have to feed their moms, their dads. They have their whole family on their back, so they made this bad decision to do this thing to make it work for them. And society makes them look like they're a murderer when they was just in a tough situation. Just like these blue collar crimes where people are stealing these people money and
causing real harm. Like
causing
old
real
people,
harm.
Hundreds of old people that no longer have a home, no longer have a means to take care of themselves, you know.
And all they got was this. And they get to go back to the same type of job that they've been working.
And those people didn't choose for that to happen to them. And not to excuse drug dealers, but someone on drugs has to choose to come to you to buy the drug. So it's a mutual agreement.
You were not scandal.
Two people.
I didn't say, hey, take this.
Right.
You better take this. Put it gun to your head. Smoke this.
Right.
Nobody said that. It was
and then trick you into anything.
A matter of fact, you lured me into doing it because my situation was we kept getting approached because of the area that we were in, the way that my ex looked. We look like we could possibly. No,
I've been in some areas where I would like to say nothing about me says that I'm a drug dealer or no drug dealers or know where the drugs are at. But I was asked several times when I've been in certain type of communities. You know, what do we eat at? Oh, you know who got some Molly? I got a suit on. I got slacks on, some nice little shoes, and a button-down shirt. What would make you think I know about that?
And that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't even the fact of the matter that we said this is what we want to do, and this was the life that you want to live. A situation presented itself, and we
like,
took
we broke. We need this money,
and we took that situation.
Yeah.
So that is something to me is completely different than somebody who has basically scandalized somebody else or tricked somebody else or just run a whole scam.
I definitely would agree that people that like the Bernie Madoff, I think that was his name, the Madoffs, to me is a worse crime than a nickel and dime drug dealer. I in no way, hell, drug dealers sometimes get more time than a child molester.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
they get more time than a rapist. Hell, they get more time than a murderer.
Exactly, and that's my point. So automatically, society stamps you with this conviction of this drug dealer, and the drug dealer weighs more weight of being a horrible person than the people who's actually out here really affecting people, and these people ain't got no choice. Like,
right. And when we're not saying, again, we don't want you to misinterpret us saying drug dealers don't affect people's lives. I get it. There are people that have had parents that are on drugs, and because of drug dealers in the community selling their parents drugs, they've had a hard life. We understand that. We know. But what we're saying is there is a difference between forcing something on someone, which is like taking someone's savings and saying I'm going to turn this savings into more money for you, when in fact what you're doing is taking everything from them, and not just one person or 10 people, but hundreds of people, to the point where the American economy collapsed because of it. But that person still being seen as a better person than a drug dealer that did not force someone to do something. That person was wrong on both parts, but nobody was forced. Or tricked into it, or swindled into it, or told a lie, or pretended that it was something that it wasn't. That person knew exactly what they were buying. The person knew exactly what they were selling. And that is, to me, not worse than somebody that took money from hundreds of old people, lied to them and said they were going to make more money for them, and really was just taking all their money. Or someone, that particular drug dealer is not worse than somebody that has killed somebody, raped somebody, molested somebody. Those, I probably like a chicken over here, but just saying.
But I mean, that's the truth.
Because, people will take stuff and run with it. Like, oh, but you did hurt somebody. You saying that you didn't hurt anybody. Yes, you did. My mom was on drugs, and that really hurt me. And if the person wouldn't have sold them drugs, then my mom wouldn't have been on drugs. Yes.
I mean,
they would have been on drugs because that person wanted something, and they went out and they sought somebody out that had what they wanted.
And that's the thing, because that person still had to make that decision to do it.
To get out, leave their house, and
to do it, period. To do the drug, period. You made that conscious decision to say, I want to try it.
Right.
So
we're not excusing. We're just saying that we don't feel like those two type of situations are created equally. And society treats the drug dealer worse than the murderer, worse than the child molester, worse than some of these other crimes, and in a sense of, when we say society, because our court system will give a drug dealer more time than a raper.
And honestly, I feel like the reason why they do is because they didn't make the money off of the person. I mean, I feel like y'all just feel a little jealous that they got some money up under the rug. So what you're gonna do is just basically say, okay, well, here you go. We gotta give it to you the roughest we can give it to you, because.
Well, I think it goes back to legal slavery.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to giving some, but not enough to really make a difference in the community, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of disagree with that, I guess, even though I'm making that statement, because I do think we do have enough wealthy people that can come back to the black community and make a big difference, but systematically, they're not going to give enough to make a difference. You know what I mean? And that, to me, still shows, because someone, what is it, one crack rock is automatically 5 to 10 years per crack rock or whatever, and then you gotta have 5 grams of coke to equal that same type of time, or something like that. Which is outrageous, because you can't get crack unless you got coke.
Right. So it's like how
so
you
the
make
part
a
of stopping the crack. If you stop the coke, then you can stop the crack, because the crack can't happen without the coke.
But coke gets you less time than crack does.
Right.
So which is crazy. And I mean, it's just a lot of layers when it comes to that type of lifestyle. When you jump into that live stream of saying that I'm going to sell a legal product, and knowing the risk about it, but that risk does not outweigh the survival. Like you have to be like, you know what?
Right, I gotta eat.
No matter what, I have no choice. I mean, you have a choice, but that choice is very okay, we about to be on the streets. My kids about to be without food. I can't pay these bills.
Right. These are things I'm willing to go back to jail for. I have to go out here and take this risk. By any means
necessary, I will take this risk.
Right.
Versus somebody who's just being greedy and want to become a millionaire off of other people's back. Now, by all means, I am regretful for my choices when it came to that. I did live that lifestyle for a little bit. I did live that lifestyle for a little bit, and I got caught up in it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because once you start getting money, it's like this. That's what you want to see, you know. So I regret my decision of going down that road, but it has made me into the woman that I am right now, because my strength came from me not giving up. My strength has came from being at the lowest of low, losing everything that I had to my name, even down to friends and family that would not mess with me in any kind of way. I could not pick up the phone and say, "Hey, can I come stay with you?" It was a no. It was, "Oh well, figure it out," you know. Yeah. And so it puts you in a spot where it's just like, and that's why I said I'm ever so grateful for the person that helped me, but everybody does not have that help. So while you sitting here talking about this person who goes back to that lifestyle, please understand that they don't have that many options when they come home. There's not that many things that is allowed to these men and these women who go to prison and serve their time and do all that rough ass time that's in prison, because it's not easy to be locked behind bars with all these other people with all these different personalities that's been murdering and raping and doing all this crazy stuff. What you think they're doing inside of that prison? And that person is probably just, not even
every drug dealer is not a violent
criminal.
Right. So just because you're willing to sell drugs don't mean you're willing to shoot or beat up or punch or do all the terrible stuff that people
ain't thinking about fighting.
Right. You're like, nah, that wasn't even. It wasn't even that hard. Right. It was like, hey, you got some? Yeah, I got some. Here you go. All right, thanks. It was like buying a car wash.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? So now you in prison with all these people, and you got to keep your mindset to where it's like, okay, I got to do this time, and I got to get out and get back to my people. And when you get back to your people, there's no love when it comes to, okay, let's give you a second shot. That part right there is the worst part. I feel like it needs to change across the board. I don't care what community we're talking about, what race we're talking about. We need to allow these people to serve their time and allow them to redeem themselves. Now, if in fact they get out and they have the same exact chances the average person has to get the same type of job, and they go and do those things again, then that's on them. But understand, you're not giving us a lot of choices to be different, to be better. If you're sitting here knocking down every single door we go through, you're shutting it in our face. You're saying no across the board. What do you expect them to do? What do you expect them to do when it comes to basic survival? They're going to go right back to doing those same exact things again, because there is no other opportunities that has been presented in a way to it works out.
Right.
It's you're limited. Even with going to school.
Right. You can't get state assistance if you have a drug-related felony. So if you want to go get an education to make yourself better, so that you don't have to go out there and sell drugs anymore, you have to go get a job that would allow you to pay your bills, take care of your family, feed your kids, but also pay for school too. Oh, but let's not mention, you can't get a job because you got a drug-related felony. How am I going to do this?
Right. So the redemption sucks.
Society is not... Right. So what I would like to say is, because I have my personal experience come from living in neighborhoods like that, being, of course, like I'm sure I've dated a guy here and there that kind of was in that life or whatever, but I knew I wasn't going to be holding nobody down, so there wasn't no point in me long-term dating your ass, because I just wasn't going to jail for you. But what I would like to say is, if you know someone that that person is a hustler, whether it's, they hustling legal or illegal, and they happen to get into some illegal trouble. If that person is your family member, be that house that they can come to for a while. Be that person they can talk to for a while. If you have a skill or knowledge or wisdom about something that can kind of help that person maneuver with that felony, pass that knowledge, wisdom on. If you are a company that, the person hasn't committed a crime that's going to directly affect your company, they're not in jail for stealing. They're not a thief,
killing.
Right, they're not killing nobody. They haven't molested any children. You know what I mean? If it's a non-violent crime and you own a small company, because most major companies got so much bureaucracy and politics in it, but the small companies, you have an easier way where you can give somebody else another chance. And sometimes we're followers. We're a society of followers. So sometimes all it takes is the one company to give somebody a chance before other companies go, okay, wait a minute, maybe we should give them a chance too. So just sometimes it's because you haven't personally been through that situation, you don't really understand what the challenges are. When you're on the other end of it, it doesn't look so difficult to you because society says they will hire people. Society says they're going to jails by rehabilitating people. We say all this stuff, but truth and fact, when you really truly look at the situation, you see that it's not doing what it's saying. We're not offering what we say we're offering. And I challenge to stop looking at or listening to what we're saying these things is all about, but actually really looking at what we are doing as a society as a whole. Yeah.
The actions behind the words.
Right. Because we say, well, you did the time, and when you get out, you should be able to get a job and fly straight and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all this stuff. But understand that comes from other people. All that stuff comes from another individual. And if there are no individuals out there that's willing to give you the opportunity to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? How can you?
Yeah, it has to be more people that's willing to take a chance to give somebody a second shot. I do feel like everybody make mistakes. Like, everybody make mistakes across the board. Some people done things and never been caught, and some people have been caught and have not been held accountable the same way.
Because they got the right amount of money to pay some things off.
Correct. So, or know somebody who,
can call in a favor.
Call in a favor.
Right.
We all don't have that. Sometimes we just need somebody to just take a chance on us to let us get in a better situation. When you come home, you have absolutely nothing. Nothing. And everybody is expecting you to change.
And now I wonder, do you think we got so many predators in America, in our communities, because we come from a country that kind of teaches that predator, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Predatory type of system across the board, because you get people, jails has workers that's not really paid anything, right? Majority of the people that's going to jail, people that don't have. A whole different
subject right now. If you go down this rabbit hole, because I have so much to say about that.
I mean, I was just thinking about like how R. Kelly's a predator, but it's on a bigger scale. Are we not sort of doing that? Okay,
we are going down a whole different rabbit hole because at the end of the day, these prisons are making a lot of money for having these people.
And who are they preying on? People that don't have anybody to speak up for them. People that are more vulnerable. People that don't have anything. They, just saying. Okay.
If we touch on the subject again, I'm going to bring actual and factual statistics of how much it costs for one person to be in jail, housed in jail, every day
versus giving them a college education, right?
How much it costs for them to be in that jail, how much people are making off of those individuals who are in prison right now, from the judges, the lawyers, the security officers who's in the jails, like basically how that is making the economy turn.
So then would you say, I mean, is it then not more economically does it not make more sense then for the government or America as a whole to not give criminals an opportunity to have a second chance? Because if they don't have a way to make themselves better, ultimately they have to go back to the very crime that got them put in jail in the first place. And so now we could say, but we offer second chances we let you get out and redeem yourself, when in reality that's not the case, because they want them
it's
to.
More, I make more money off of you by being into the system.
Okay, so I want you to be a habitual criminal, so that you can come back and I can get my free slave labor.
Yeah, and make more money off of you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So then, with that, do you have hope that society would change the view of?
I have very little hope, because that is one area that continues to grow. That's one area that jails keep popping up.
They do.
Jails keep being produced and built bigger to house more. So do I believe that? No, because it makes them a lot of money by putting people in it. So why would you want to see anybody get better? You actually want to put them in a situation that makes them come back.
Right. Exactly.
To stay longer, because you might have got 2-3 years when you went first time, but the second time you're
need 30.
I'm gonna need at least 10 off of you now. Okay? So I mean,
so that's where it comes back to, as individuals, we can't wait for the government to fix something.
They're not.
We can't wait for the government to see that something is wrong, because they already know something is wrong, and it's a situation they don't want to fix. It's a situation that they don't want to see get better, because it's not
feasible to them.
Right. It's not profitable for them to allow it to happen. It's more profitable for them to allow a situation of detriment to happen where the person is forced to continue to commit the same type of crime, so that they ultimately end up back in prison, back in jail, back in the system. But hopefully we, as humans, want to see our brothers and sisters do better. We want to be a part of the solution of allowing them to have an opportunity to actually do better. But it also takes people not being prideful and actually reaching out and saying, "Hey, I'm drowning. Can you help me?"
That happens more than we know. It may not happen to the point where they're reaching out to everybody, but they may have somebody that they trust to come and talk to, and nothing comes about it. And when you get turned away and you get rejected from the one place you may have thought that you could got help from, now is okay, well, I'm back to no me by any means necessary at this point. What needs to happen is, screw government when it comes to all of that. Really, it's about the everyday person that we live next to every single day. Our neighbors, our school teachers, people we come in contact every day. We need to be more friendly to just our neighbor, basic and full, because if it was your person going through, somebody that hits home for you, you would want somebody to help them or help you. So just because this person is going through this, I feel like if we give more chances, we'll see a different society. You'll actually see less crime that's out there in the street, because half of these people are getting it because they have no other choice. Right. They're robbing because they have no other choice.
And their immediate peripheral, or immediately around them, they don't see more options. And even though being on the outside of the situation looking in, you may see more options for that person, but when the person is sitting in that situation and looking around, they don't see more options.
Even if you see those options, you're seeing those options, but you're not the person who's walking through what they have to walk through to see if those options will work for them. Because you can say, "Hey, go back to school." Okay, I tried going back to school, but I can't. Okay, you need to go find you a job. Okay, well, I've been beating this pavement for 3 weeks now, and nobody's messing with me. Okay, well, you need to go down to this church, and this church. Okay, well, this church, they not, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not a member. I'm not a member. Tired before I went to jail.
Or this church has already done filled up with other people, so they don't have any room for you. So it's just like you may see these as options, but this person, they're taking what you're telling them and they're applying it, but they still end up empty-handed.
Right.
And all I can tell to these people that's out here now that's in a similar situation as me, that has went down the road where you were convicted and you had to rehabilitate your life, is do not by any means give up. by any means. I know it's tough. I know it's rough. You may have to live out on the streets, but don't you ever give up, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what they want you to do. You will. I don't. And I'm sorry to say it like this, but I'm gonna keep it raw and 100. If you got to lie to get to this point, you fake it till you make it. Do whatever you need to do to do it without it going in a direction of going back to jail. Is what I'm saying. Like, I had to make some real life decisions on some things to make sure that I get why I needed to get.
Right.
And because there was no other way. You can't be honest. You can't say this is me. Please.
No, because honestly really isn't rewarded. Honesty really isn't rewarded in all situations. So, excuse me. So
yeah,
what would be your closing remarks on this situation?
Yeah, just basically that. To the person who's going through, who's just coming out of jail, coming out of prison, don't give up on yourself. You found a way to surround yourself around like-minded people who maybe been through the same situation, who can give you some pointers of where you need to go. And to society, please stop giving these people a second chance. Please stop turning your back at them and turning your nose up as if they're less than a human being. They need your help.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for watching with us. And please like, subscribe, comment. Look forward to talking with you soon.
Bye, guys.